Welcome to Third Dimension Studios. Today we have Anthony. Anthony is starting to lose his hair. He still does have hair, but it's definitely thinning. So we're going to start off by introducing Anthony. Anthony, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
And when did you first start noticing hair loss?
Probably about a year and a half ago, I started noticing my hairline thinning out, and then I was gradually seeing it move, kind of further up my head, and it kind of just made it hard because I had to sweep it over, wear a hat, and it made it really hard to manage. So that's when I started looking online and looking around, and I couldn't really find anyone I could relate with. There were a lot of older guys that were getting hair systems, but not very many young guys who were getting it and willing to talk about it. So that's kind of why I reached out to you guys at Third Dimension Hair Studio.
Okay. Well, like I said, the good thing for you is that the transition is not going to be, that noticeable compared to a guy that's fully lost his hair. So again, you are a perfect candidate in the sense that you're just starting to thin. So again, we're going to still keep that same look for you. We're really not going to change anything. I still want you to look in the mirror in the morning and still recognize the person that you're used to seeing, but just with a full head of hair. Okay, so I guess we're ready to begin. So we're going to start off by making a mold for Anthony, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to make a mold, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to make a mold. The end result in a mold would look like something similar to this, just the size may vary because of the head shape. So the first thing we're going to do is, in making a mold, we're going to need a China marker. And it's very, very important when making a mold, you don't want to bring the hairline so low. Again, most of the times if you pull back your hair, you're going to be able to see a few hairs of where your natural hairline tends to be. Another thing that's very, very important is your temple points. So you want to start by marking your temple points on both sides, and then again, just filling in where your natural hairline would be, but just a little bit lower with a little bit more fullness. And again, sometimes when making a hairline, you don't have to be 100% perfect. You don't want to be drawing a straight or a circle around your head. To have a little bit of recession, that's a natural thing. Some people have never had, a full rounded hairline. Some people have had the little bit of natural recession. And again, when making a hair system, you always got to take into consideration the word natural. You want everything to be natural. So again, as I see with Anthony here, he really never had a rounded hairline. He always had a little bit of a recession to it. So we're going to keep that. So I'm just going to go in here. Okay, so that looks good. Then I'm going to separate the hair, the strong hair from the weak hair. I'm going to try to use as much hair of his own and make the template as small as possible. But that being said, you need strong hair. So right now I'm going to just have a look, just turn Anthony around. I can see exactly where the hair is weak and where the hair is strong. So I'm going to, with my China marker, I'm going to draw that in. So once that's all done, I'm just going to take the hair out of the way. Make sure I can see my marks nice and clear. So right now we take a piece of saran wrap or stretch wrap, and about this length. I'm just going to place it over Anthony's head here. Again, just moving all the hair out of the way. I'm just going to grab it. And ask Anthony just to hold the side for me. One side. that here. I'm just going to make it nice and tight. Just going to roll it up a few times, nice and tight. Place it behind the ear. Anthony, can you please hold that for me? Thank you. Place this one here, nice and tight. Hold that for me, Anthony. Now I'm going to get my marker, just a black Sharpie, and I'm going to trace out the line that I drew with my China marker. Now I'm going to mark a crown area. So if you just take your thumb, place it right behind your ear, put your second finger up, more or less that's where your crown area will be. I'm going to write down back. I'm going to write down the letter B for back and the letter F for front. Like that, they're aware of which one's the front and which one's the back. Now I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to put 3 layers of tape on the mold. You don't want the mold to be too flimsy. You want it to be durable. Like that, it's going to give you a more accurate fit. So if I just start to cut some pieces of tape, tape nice and tight. Start off by doing like a letter X in the back to hold down that foundation. So I completed my first layer going forward. Now I'm going to begin my second layer. Go in the opposite direction. Again, nice and tight. That's my second layer. And then I'm going to do one more layer the same way that I started my first layer, and that's from back to front. Now another thing that's important is whenever making a mold, you also have to provide a hair sample. By providing a hair sample, that's the only way that you're going to get 100% accuracy in matching your own hair color. When making a hair system and you wanted to put highlights, you could include a highlight color as well as your base color. So that's for the guys who want highlights. So that's also very, very important. Again, you want an accurate hair color like that. It's going to blend in well with your own hair. We're almost done here. A few more pieces. Thank you, Anthony, for your patience. All right. So everything is done. You could let go. And there's the mold. So right now, you have the outline. So basically, you take your scissors, and you start to cut it out. Way. Now you take your mold that you've cut out, you place it on your head, make sure everything's exactly where it should be, the hairline. Another thing that's very important, just make sure that there's no gaps. Make sure that the mold itself is sitting where your strong hair, where your weak hair and strong hair meet. All right, the mold looks good. Take your mold along with a hair sample. Any highlights, you can make that a second hair sample as well, and you're ready to place an order for a hair system.